Hello and welcome. Today we're looking at a very cool Fender Champ 12, and it's a really neat amplifier that has a lot of unique sounds and a very unique look due to the red knobs. It's got a tape input with two RCA jacks over there. The headphone jack is missing. I believe that was part of the modification, or one of several modifications that was done to this amplifier. And it's also had a replaced input jack, and it's had a lot of modifications from capacitors and resistors, and a lot of different recommendations that were made, which I'll get to in a little bit here. But why don't we turn it over to our dear friend Gary Peterson for a moment so he can talk about the specs and some things about this amp. Gary?
All right, thank you, Todd. Today we're going to be looking at and discussing the Fender Champ 12 Red Knob, made from 1987 to 1982. It is equipped with two 12AX7 preamp tubes and one GL6L6 power tube. One 6L6 GC power tube. Excuse me. It is equipped also with an 8 ohm 12-inch Fender Blue Label special design speaker. Delivering about 15 watts, this amp was made in Mexico. It came in black, red, white, gray, or snakeskin, which was really cool looking, kids. Known for very deep, real spring reverb. That's due to the reverb being driven by the speaker transformer. So people usually kept it on the very low setting, as it gets really intense really fast. Many folks like to use the attenuated input jack number 2, as number 1 is considered very hot. The distortion channel is not well regarded by most people, but it is serviceable on its own. Problem is the disparity when switching between the two channels. Many people love the clean channel, which breaks up nicely at high volumes.
Now, Gary, a lot of people like to tinker with and modify amps like this. This one was modified. Is that pretty common? Are there a lot of different ones like that?
Yes, sirree. There is a great deal of information out there about these amps and many different modification suggestions. There was a popular mod kit provided by famous Dan Torres back in the day. Premier Guitars' Jeff Bober provided some great suggestions for improving the amp all the way back in January 2013. Probably the most famous one is by Phil Taylor of Effectro.com. He had an article, How to Transform a Fender Champ 12 into a Champ Deluxe with a few mods. This amp is ripe for mods due to an all-tube signal path. We will leave links in the description for all the different mods. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you so much, Gary. Really appreciate your insight, wisdom, and above all, your enthusiasm. As we close this video, I want to mention that the treble circuit is very effective on this, and oddly it has a pull mid boost, which really kind of adds to the treble, honestly. I have more luck with it pushed in, but it's nice to have that option. This amp is built really well. It's a very sturdy amplifier by Fender. It has its typical appointments with the metal corners, the Tolex pattern that you're all familiar with, and a really great and sturdy handle that collapses down flat, so you could set things on top of the amplifier if you needed to, or whatever the case might be there. But it is really a well-built amplifier, and it's not too heavy considering it does have a 12-inch speaker and some pretty big transformers. You'll note also that the input power select between 50 and 60 hertz, that switch has been removed. I actually have not taken this chassis out to examine it to look at the workmanship. I really should do that. It's functioning 100%. It's working perfectly. So I have no doubt that the mods were done well, or at least they're effective. But I always like to kind of look and see how different techs soldered and decided how to put things in. I'm a little leery and scared to look in, actually, but you know, everybody is better than the last guy that looked at it. That's kind of how that goes. This 12-inch Fender Blue Label special design speaker is really, really nice. I think it sounds great. A lot of people modify this amp by replacing the speaker. There's been Celestians in there, and everybody wants to try every speaker, and your mileage may vary. But enjoy the playing video. Thanks for coming, and take care of yourselves now.